the quick revision of the Cushing's. What exactly is the Cushing's? It's a clinical condition which is characterized by excessive production of the steroids. So now you need to be very much aware of, first and foremost, what is the most common cause of the Cushing's. Most common cause of the Cushing syndrome is the supplementation of the iatrogenic steroids. And what is the most common cause of, right, supplementation of iatrogenic steroids? Then what is the most common cause of the non-iatrogenic Cushing's? Right, the most common cause of non-iatrogenic Cushing's. Most common cause of non-iatrogenic Cushing's will be the pituitary adenoma. Right, so that includes the pituitary adenoma. Right, then what is the most common cause of the ACTH dependent type of Cushing's? The most common cause of the ACTH dependent type of Cushing's is again the pituitary adenoma, and the steroid production can be even from the ectopic sources. What is the most common ectopic source for the Cushing's? The most common ectopic source for the Cushing's, that includes the small cell carcinoma of the lung. Right, this small cell carcinoma, which is also called as the oat cell carcinoma. Right, which is also called the oat cell carcinoma. Actually, there are many ectopic sources for the development of the Cushing's. That includes small cell carcinoma of the lung, then followed by that the pancreatic and as well as the bronchial carcinoid, then followed by that the pheochromocytoma. So these are all the ectopic sources for the Cushing's. But out of this, the most common cause will be the small cell carcinoma of the lung or the oat cell carcinoma of the lung. Right. Then what is the most common cause for the ACTH independent type of Cushing's? The most common cause for the ACTH independent type of the Cushing's. Right. What is the most common cause of the ACTH independent type of the Cushing's? That includes the adrenal adenoma. So these are all the important etiologies causing the Cushing's. Now you need to be aware of the clinical features in Cushing's. What is the earliest clinical manifestation in the Cushing's? The earliest clinical manifestations in the Cushing's will be the weight gain. Right, weight gain is the earliest clinical manifestation, and followed by that, due to redistribution of the fat in these patients, they will have a moon-shaped face. Right, and not only that, because of redistribution of the fat, there will be also buffalo hump. Right, and the next important feature because of redistribution of the fat is development of the central obesity. And this central obesity, it is a very important risk factor for insulin resistance, causing the type 2 diabetes mellitus. Right, and you have some important skin manifestations that includes the skin atrophy. Then these patients, they will have the easy bruisability. Right, then these patients, they will have the very important feature, that is the purple striae. And in case of the ACTH dependent type of Cushing's, these patients will have the hyperpigmented skin. Right, and these patients will also have the development of immunocompromised state, causing increased fungal infection. Right, causing increased fungal infection. Okay, so these are all the skin manifestations that you will have in patients with the Cushing's. And related to metabolism, carbohydrate metabolism, these patients, they will have hyperglycemia. Right, and lipid metabolism, these patients, they'll have dyslipidemia and lipolysis, causing increase in the free fatty acids. Right, and the protein metabolism is that there is excessive proteolysis, causing the proximal muscle myopathy. Right, causing the proximal muscle myopathy. So these will be the abnormal metabolisms that you will have in patients with the Cushing's. And cardiovascular system manifestations is that these patients will have hypertension, and CNS manifestations is that these patients, they will have psychosis and the emotional instability. So this will be the central nervous system manifestations that you will have in patients with the Cushing's. Right, and followed by that, in patients with the ectopic ACTH, please remember there is excessive activation of ENaC, causing edema And not only edema, there will be also hypokalemic metabolic alkalosis, right? Hypokalemic metabolic alkalosis. So these will be the features in case of ectopic ACTH being producing steroids, where there is excessive activation of ENaC, right? And these patients with Cushing's, they are also at increased risk of thromboembolic events, right? They are also at increased risk of thromboembolic events. Okay. Then followed by this, you need to be aware of the workup. So what is the first line investigation in these patients is, first line investigation is 24-hour urinary cortisol levels. So 24-hour urinary cortisol levels, they are elevated. That is the first line investigation. Once the 24-hour urinary cortisol levels are elevated, then you need to check the ACTH levels, right? Then you need to check the ACTH levels. Now, if you find that the ACTH levels are reduced, then you need to suspect the individual is having the adrenal gland disorder, right? So if the ACTH levels is reduced, either it might be it is ACTH independent type of Cushing's, right? If the ACTH levels are increased, then you need to suspect it as the ACTH dependent type of the Cushing's, right? Now, if you are suspecting ACTH independent, then what is that you need to do is you need to do CT or MRI of the abdomen, right? CT or MRI of the abdomen. Whereas in case of the ACTH dependent type of Cushing's, like the investigation of choice will be MRI of the pituitary, that is mainly to look for the pituitary adenoma, because the most common cause of Cushing's is most common cause for ACTH dependent type of Cushing's is pituitary adenoma. Now, if suppose the pituitary adenoma, if you find that it is normal, because in 90% of patients, even though there is pituitary adenoma, the sensitivity is only 90%. In 10% of individuals where the tumor is very small, the MRI cannot detect even though there is presence of the pituitary adenoma. So that is the reason why what you need to do is you need to do a high dose dexamethasone suppression test, right? High dose dexamethasone suppression test. Now with this high dose dexamethasone suppression test, if the ACTH levels are reduced, then you need to think of the pituitary adenoma. If the ACTH levels are still on the higher side, in spite of giving high dose dexamethasone, then you need to think of the ectopic ACTH producing the Cushing's. Either it might be small cell carcinoma, pancreatic and bronchial carcinoid, medullary carcinoma of thyroid, or even the pheochromocytoma, right? Now, if you are finding that the ACTH levels are reduced and it is pituitary adenoma, but MRI was normal, then in such case, what you need to do is you need to check the petrosal venous sinus sampling, right? Then you need to check the petrosal venous sinus sampling for ACTH, right? So petrosal sinus sampling for the ACTH has to be tested here, right? Now, the very important, so that is about how you need to diagnose. Then after having discussed, you need to be aware of the very important part of the workup. If it is ectopic ACTH, where all it is coming from, either small cell carcinoma or pheochromocytoma, pancreatic and bronchial carcinoid, and then medullary carcinoma of thyroid. So if you are finding that it is ectopic ACTH, then you need to do CT or MRI of the abdomen and as well as thorax, right? As well as the thorax, right? So this is about how you need to work up a patient with the Cushing's. Now, after having discussed about the workup, then you need to know the treatment. So what exactly is the treatment of choice for Cushing's? So the treatment of choice for the Cushing's will be surgical excision of the tumor, right? Surgical excision of the tumor. Now, if there is any contraindication for surgical excision, then you need to give the medical management. And among the medical management, what is the drug of choice? Among the medical management, the drug of choice will be the ketoconazole. So ketoconazole, why is that we are giving ketoconazole? Because it is adrenal enzyme inhibitor and it prevent the steroid hormone synthesis, right? And the next important drug is if there is ectopic ACTH, what is the most common cause for the ectopic ACTH causing Cushing's? That is small cell carcinoma. So if it is small cell carcinoma, then the drugs that you need to give is the irinotecan, right, plus cisplatin. So this is the drug that you need to give. And if there is bilateral adrenal adenoma or bilateral adrenal carcinoma where you have done bilateral adrenal resection, so if once you've done bilateral adrenal resection, the individual will land up in the steroid deficiency. So once you've done a bilateral adrenal resection, then in this scenario, you need to give replacement steroids. And this particular replacement steroids, right? So this particular replacement steroids, that includes the hydrocortisone. So this is about the Cushing's in quick recap.